The title of today's discussion is Identity is the First Cause. Let me hit live on Instagram for once. Cool. Now let's get into it. Get the YouTube chat up and running. Cool. All right. So, identity is the first cause. Identity is the first cause, all right? Let's cook. Let's cook together today, all right? Why nothing changes until you do, and why that is simply mechanics, right? It's not motivational to say nothing changes until you do. It's not rhetoric. This is just truth. This is mechanics. This is reality creation 101. Let's get into it. Most people think change begins with action. That's what most people think. The uninitiated. Change begins with action. Some people think it begins with belief. Spiritual people think it begins with thoughts, affirmations, or the mysterious vibration. All of that is downstream. Okay? All of those things are downstream. Action, downstream. Belief, downstream. Thoughts, affirmations, vibrations, they're all downstream things. Change begins with identity. Okay? Identity is the first cause. It is the core, foundational truth that you must accept about yourself, and everything flows from identity. Okay? Identity is the actual lever. You are source, you are all that there is, and you open up the lever to prosperity by accepting that as your truth, and now everything flows downhill from there. Right? So change begins with identity. Not identity as a personality description. Identity as a causal position. It's a position in which you decide this is the truth of who I am, and everything is going to flow from this. Reality flows from this. All right. This is another way to think about it. Okay. What is identity? Identity is the place consciousness agrees to operate from. My consciousness agrees to operate from this identity. Now that should give you clarity on the identity that you have chosen. Are you in the identity of the one who knows who they are, knows they are prosperity, or are you the identity of the one who is seeking to understand, trying to reach for prosperity? Have you accepted that right now, no matter how you feel, no matter if you believe it or not, you just are prosperity. You just are it. You just are God. You'll never be able to wrap your mind around infinity. You'll never be able to wrap your mind around the fact, the absolute truth that you are all that there is, that this entire universe is within you, that you are this entire universe. It's not something that you can understand intellectually. You simply accept it as the truth. You simply accept it as the truth. Okay? And when you accept it as the truth, everything flows from there. Okay? Cool. So, reality, hear this, reality does not respond to what you want, what you hope, or what you repeat. Did you hear that? Reality doesn't respond to what you want, what you hope, or what you repeat. Reality responds. Reality responds to what you are being when no one is watching and nothing is happening yet. There we go. All right, let's get into this. Scripture states it plainly, but most people read it emotionally instead of mechanically. One of the most simple but misinterpreted verses in Scripture that we always talk about is what? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What does that mean? To the uninitiated, they think, oh, how we feel is who I am. How I feel is who I am. But remember, even Scripture will say, the heart is deceitful above all things, who can know it? So you have two statements, right? You have the heart is deceitful above all things, who can know it? Number one. And then you have as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Number two. The heart is deceitful above all things. So we know that's talking about emotions. So what is this talking about? It'd be one thing if it said, as a man feeleth in his heart, so is he. But it doesn't. It says, thinketh in his heart. Thinketh in his heart. Understand this. Why doesn't it just say think or feel? Thinking in your heart implies knowing what you've accepted as the truth. what you have chosen to live, the identity that you have chosen to express yourself through. Okay, let's think about the heart. I've often talked about this, but let's talk about this in a different way. Okay, one of the things when we think of an open heart chakra, for all of you chakra lovers, for all of you little chakra fanatics, all right, when we talk about the energy centers, one of the things that the heart center is known for is the heart is quote unquote the seat of the soul. We'll often talk about it from a superficial perspective. We'll say the heart is gratitude, love, caring, kindness, empathy. Oh my God, yes, all those beautiful things. But what's more important with the heart? Righteousness. Righteousness. Righteousness, exactly. Actually, the heart simply knows. Righteousness, okay? Now, what is righteousness? To the mere mortal, to the literalist, the one who can't see beyond the veil, they might think righteousness is what? Climbing some ladder towards some moral superiority way up there, following man-made doctrines and laws and what somebody else says is morality, right? But what is righteousness? Remember, so if we go to scripture, there's a quote that says what? It says, Abraham believed in the law. Well, it says the Lord. Abraham believed in the Lord, and it was counted to him as righteousness. What does that mean? Abraham believed in the Lord. Remember, when we talk about the Old Testament and we talk about Lord translates to law. Law of being, law of I am, law of oneness, law of whatever. Law, okay? The only law, the law that trumps all laws. You are everything, and who you decide to be, that's what reality will show you, okay? The top law, top dog law. Okay, so now when we say Abraham believed in the law and it was counted to him as righteousness, well, you're given the formula right there. What is the law that Abraham believed in? Abraham wasn't necessarily believing in God. People want to pervert it and say he was believing in God to fulfill his will. No. This is a book of consciousness, of inner states. Abraham is you. Abraham believed that he would have descendants like the stars, but he was old as shit. Wife was old as shit, barren as shit. The wilderness that they were in was not the only desert that was around him. He also had a desert in her, right? So now when we say righteousness, what are we saying? No matter what the situation looks like, I stick to the knowing, to the truth. I accept the truth. The truth is what? Whatever my vision is. So I know that everything will unfold perfectly. I see the descendants, even if the situation shows me opposite. That is righteousness. That is an open heart. That is to think as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is to know with righteousness. I trust that made sense. I trust, all right? So identity is the first domino. We knock down that domino, boom. We choose identity, everything else follows. Identity is the first domino, okay? Perfect. Number 2, why circumstances never initiate change. Because this is the ridiculous dance that a lot of us do. And I was on this dance for a while. I was saying that I was picking an identity. I was saying that I chose, but I was still looking out there waiting for something to change. Waiting for something out there to prove it to me. Treating everything out there like the source, like the cause. And I was simply waiting for proof. Let's hear this, all right? Circumstances have never initiated anything. We know this. Circumstances have never initiated anything. They only report. Now, we know that, but let's talk about it, okay? If circumstances had creative authority, your past would not keep repeating. If looking out there and waiting for something out there to change worked, your past would not keep repeating. You would have been saved. You would have been saved by a new job, by Prince Charming, by a new environment, by a new city. You would have been saved. But what actually happened? The same patterns reappeared in new costumes. It didn't matter that you moved because you brought yourself with you. It didn't matter if you chose a new specific person because guess who was the common denominator in that new relationship? It was you. The new job didn't save you. You found the same problems, the same annoying people, just in different costumes looking at you saying, this is who you are. So the circumstances never initiate anything. They only report. Huh? Why? It's because circumstance is not cause, it is evidence. Circumstance is evidence. All right? So when people say, once this changes, then I'll change. Once a man treats me right, then I'll be a good woman. Yeah, I know y'all be saying that shit. When you say, once this changes, then I'll change, you're reversing the order of reality. That reversal does what? What does that reversal do? It creates effort, frustration, exhaustion. I'm just so sick and tired of this. I've been on this journey. I've been trying to do this for X amount of time. I get it. I've been there. But when you're trying to fight against reality, when you're trying to base who you are on what's out there, it always leads to the three things that we just mentioned: the effort, the frustration, and the exhaustion. Effort, frustration, exhaustion. That's all that it leads to. Okay? You cannot outwork a mislocated cause or a mislocated identity. There's no amount of work that I can do to outwork a lack mindset, a belief, an identity of lack. Even if I win the lottery, I will find a creative, innovative, extremely out-the-box way to lose every single fucking dollar. You see it all the time. You see this happen. You cannot outwork a mislocated cause. But guess what? The same rings true in the opposite. If you know you are prosperity, the money just can't seem to stay away from you. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Okay? So Jesus didn't say, right? Or somebody that quoted Jesus a couple years later didn't say, when the world improves, then I will embody truth. What were the words of Jesus's translator or whatever? It was, I am the truth. I am the truth. I am the truth. Point blank period. I am the truth. That is the cause speaking and not the hope. Right? So we're going to this cause, right? We're going to this identity here. We're having this conversation about identity, and identity is the first cause. Identity is the first cause. Okay? So let's talk about identity a little bit more. This is a good way to frame identity in your reality. I feel like we're about to cook right now. This is a good way to frame identity in your reality, all right? Identity is a law and not just a preference. It's a law. Okay? What do you mean by that? Right? I am the law. It's that scene in the Chosen when Jesus says, I am the law of Moses. Pretty badass fucking saying though, right? But a preference negotiates. A preference negotiates. It's just my preference. My preference is to have that SP come back. My preference is prosperity. It negotiates. A law enforces. Now, one of the verses I always talk about is Job 22:28. Job 22:28. It's a very beautifully written line, and it says, thou shalt decree. Oh, that word. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be added unto thee. Now, when we look up the word decree in the dictionary, it says what? To speak as a legal authority. To speak as a legal authority. To speak as a legal authority. So when we're speaking as a legal authority, I want you to, this is the nature of a law, speaking the law. Okay? What this is really saying is your word is law, bro. Your word is law, bro. Here we go. A preference negotiates. A law enforces, all right? Most people treat identity like a mood. Something flexible, adjustable, situational. If it looks good, sure, I'll be prosperity. But if it doesn't look good, well, X, I've been trying to be prosperity and nothing changes. You're just trying to use it as a transaction. You're trying to mock God, bribe God. Maybe if I act like a good little boy, some Santa Claus in heaven will send me down a blessing to reward my good behavior. That's what it is. That's what it is, all right? So they are confident when things go well and uncertain when they do not. That means identity was never chosen, it was outsourced. You're still waiting on something outside of you to determine your identity. You still think feelings, thoughts change identity. I want you to think of your identity like your name or like your age. It doesn't matter if you like your age. It doesn't matter if you don't like your age. It doesn't matter if you get happy or sad thinking about it. God damn, Rush. Where did the years go? Doesn't matter. It's just your age. It just is what it is. It's his truth. It's not negotiable. Okay? Not negotiable. This means identity was never chosen. It was outsourced. All right? So identity as law doesn't ask permission from circumstances. It does not update itself based on feedback. It doesn't flinch when the mirror lags. Let me say that one more time. Identity as law doesn't ask permission from circumstances. It doesn't update itself based on feedback, and it doesn't flinch when the mirror lags. A law does not care how you feel about it. Gravity does not negotiate with emotion, and fire does not apologize for heat. When identity is settled, reality reorganizes automatically because it has no alternative. That is why manifestation feels effortless for some and exhausting for others. Why? Why? It's not because some people are more spiritual. It's because some people have simply stopped wavering at the what? The causal level, the identity level. Here's something I want to be very clear on, okay? People will often say the word wavering. They'll say, I've been wavering. What if I'm wavering? Right? I'm wavering, right? Which, in all honesty, is just you judging yourself. But here's the thing about truth. When you accept that the truth of who you are is prosperity, all right? When you accept that that's the truth of who you are. Number one, if this is your truth, it doesn't need your belief, okay? If you started treating your decisions as this is my truth or this is just the law, this is law now. The law or the truth does not care about your belief in it. It doesn't care about your doubt of it. It just is. It doesn't care if you feel a certain way about it. It doesn't care if you have anxiety or fear or happiness. It does not care. It simply is. It is outside the realm of your ego mind. This is what I'm talking about. When we go to identity, you accept identity and it is outside the realm of your ego mind. All right? Cool. I trust that made sense, right? This might be kind of short and quick. All right, so next, why working on yourself often produces nothing. Here's a hard truth, right? Most people are not working on themselves. They're circling themselves. They analyze, heal, affirm, journal, process, and reflect, all while doing what? Staying loyal to the same underlying identity. They stand in front of the mirror and they try to polish the mirror, but they're still the same person looking. They see their shadow and they say, God damn, that shadow is big. And they try to fix the shadow. They try to take the shadow to therapy. You can't do that. You simply need to change the light that cast it. You are the light that casts the shadow. Huh? And so you must change your identity first. Identity first, everything else is second. Right? We often need to we should think, it would be beneficial to think of identity as what? The master vibration of the master frequency. That's what identity is. Okay? Master vibration, master frequency. So here we go. They're trying to improve a self they never left. When you're trying to do all of these things without changing identity, you're trying to improve a self you've never left. Effort feels exhausting. Effort feels exhausting when identity is undecided, because effort is compensating for a missing decision. That's a fucking gem right there. Effort feels exhausting when identity is undecided, because effort is compensating. You're trying to compensate for a missing decision. Of course it feels like effort. Action without identity is pushing a stalled car uphill. It's pushing a stalled car uphill. That is why people say, I'm doing everything right, but nothing is changing. Of course not. And it feels exhausting. And it's full of effort. And it's frustrating because you haven't changed yourself on the identity level, on the core level. You're trying to compensate for your lack of a decision, hoping that something out there proves to you that you're doing things right, and you haven't decided that you're doing things right. You haven't decided that you are right. Fuck doing things right. I am right. I am the way. I am the decision. It's me. What do y'all think Jesus was talking about when he said, I am the way, I am the truth? Doesn't matter what the path looks like. I am the path. I am the way. When I make that decision, my identity unfolds from within me. Every step I take is magic. It doesn't matter if I go left, if I go right, if I go straight, if I go back. Don't matter. I am the way. I am is the truth. The source within me is the truth. Whatever I attach to it is truth. It's law. I don't have to dibble and dabble and dip my big toe and try to change the ego. The ego's feelings and doubts and beliefs, and it's irrelevant. The anxiety and the feelings and it's irrelevant. It does not matter. I am the truth, and the truth operates outside of ego. All right, here we go. Identity change is not improvement. Identity change is not improvement. Let me say that one more time. Identity change is not improvement. It's departure. You are completely leaving. It's relocation. We're relocating from the old identity into the new. All right? You don't fix the old self. You stop operating from it. There's nothing to fix. You are every single version of yourself already right now. So you're simply selecting a new version of yourself. Choosing, this is who I am. And we do it from that unconditional basis. Like we were talking about earlier. Let me read the quote from earlier. All right, let me go to the last discussion we had. Right? So making a decision to change your identity sounds like this. This is the version of myself I'm willing to live as, even if nothing outside changes immediately. This is the personality I choose to express through, because it aligns with what I want to experience as God in form. Boom. That's it. I make an unconditional decision. This is who I choose to be until I decide to choose differently. This is who I choose to be until I decide to choose differently. Until then, this is it. 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 This is the identity. Okay? This is the identity. So here we go. Let me get back to the last section we were talking about. Cool. All right, cool. So the next, why effort disappears when identity is settled. Go to the question. I think it was a question about what do we do? Or what do I do? Or actions or whatever. Why effort disappears when identity is settled. Okay? Watch someone who has decided who they are. That's why I love this Telegram channel, right? Because you guys get to real time kind of observe like the different how do people talk or communicate or remind themselves or respond to themselves? How do they flow through life when they've decided who they are? They don't strain. They don't need to hype themselves. They don't need the constant reassurance. They move cleanly. Effort disappears. And when I say effort disappears, I'm not saying that action stops. We're talking about that resistance does. Instead of me trying to be someone and putting all of my energy into trying to be somebody I already am. Now I simply accept that, and my effort goes where? To simply existing. So I start to focus that effort just on being, instead of striving to do something to change in here, which is exhausting. Now I've accepted who I am, and my energy goes to what? It's just being. Just allowing. It's a different feeling. That feeling of efforting versus being. Striving versus just existing. It's two completely different mind frames. All right? So when identity is undecided, every action is questioned. When identity is undecided, every action is questioned, right? Is this right? Is this working? Should I do more? What if this fails? But I feel nervous, but this anxiety, but this, but that. Constantly looking for things out there. How do I manipulate things out there to be what I already am? When identity is settled, action just becomes obvious. Not easy, but obvious. Okay? A king doesn't debate whether to act like a king. A God doesn't debate whether to act like a God. A creator does not check if reality agrees before creating. This is why faith in Scripture is never described as emotional certainty. It is described as knowing. It's never described as emotional certainty. It is described as knowing. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. And then when we talk about feelings, what does it say? It says, the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? The emotions just come and go. If you try to build let's hear this, right? If you try to build an identity on your emotions, and you walk outside today and it's a gloomy day, the neighbor's dog is off the leash, that motherfucker charges at you, your heart jumps into your fucking esophagus. All of a sudden you start getting rained on, you're going to say, what the fuck? Shit is just not going well for me today. If you try to build an identity on emotions, you might as well go build a house on quicksand, a stick house on quicksand in rainy season. It does not work. This is why when you stressed me about, but these people say feeling is a secret and feeling and emotions, I got to feel it real. I say, okay, well, how has that been working for you? How has that been working? How has walking around 24/7 and trying to force yourself to be happy about shit you don't even like out there, how is that working for you? Should I bring the straitjacket to you now or later? We'll sit here and we will drive ourselves crazy, trying to make ourselves feel like something we already are. You just already are it. When will you make the decision that you're already what you decide to be? When will you make the decision that everything is working out for you? When will you make the decision that you are love and love will support you? When will you make the decision that you are money, abundance? The energy of money is you and it flows through you and it supports you, and whatever you want, money shows up for you. When will you decide to make all those younger versions of you proud who are looking at you right now? When will you treat yourself like you deserve what you want? When will you grant to yourself what mere mortals beg others to grant them? When will you do it? When will you do it? It's exactly it. It is knowing. We go to the truth. The truth is knowing. It's accepting. This is like a law. It's law. Me being prosperity is just law. I've accepted it as law. I don't need to believe in the law. It doesn't matter if I doubt the law. It doesn't matter how I feel about the law. I can hate the law. It just is. It just is what it is. I am prosperity because I am source. The ego mind can't wrap its head around it. The ego mind is going to say, well, Alex, what about the bills? And I'm going to say, okay, cool. You can sit there, and because you see something, you can decide that that's who you are, and you can stay in that reality for eternity, or you can lean on the truth of who you are. You are prosperity because you are source. Point blank, period. Okay. Here go Helios on my dick again. All right, so here we go. Identity precedes emotion and not the other way around. Identity precedes emotion, not the other way around. Okay? One of the biggest traps is waiting to feel aligned before deciding. Waiting to feel aligned before deciding. All right? That is backwards. Feelings are effects. Identity is cause. Feelings are effects, right? Feelings, even thoughts, they're manifestations in themselves. You don't even decide them. They just show up. You don't even decide these things most of the time. Your feelings and your thoughts, they just happen. They're manifestations in themselves. They're not the cause. The cause is identity. Oh, he's back. The cause is identity, all right? So waiting to feel confident before choosing confidence is like waiting for the shadow to move before you move your body. You get that? It's like trying to fix the shadow, reaching down and fixing the shadow, but you cast the light. Okay? You cast the light. Feelings catch up. They always do, but they do not lead. They don't lead. This is why emotional instability doesn't disqualify you from identity. Only indecision does. You say that one more time. Emotional instability does not disqualify you from identity. Identity is just a choice. Only indecision does. Trying to manage your thoughts all day, emotions all day, feelings all day is exhausting. Let them be. They don't create anyway. Now, let me give you a more practical example, okay? What is it that truly is the problem? Because we understand that our thoughts and our emotions, they just happen, right? Sometimes you just think things for certain reasons. A song lyric comes up, right? Sometimes you just feel a certain way for, you know what I'm saying? Just the situation shows up and all of a sudden you feel a certain way. Those things just happen. They're not the problem, right? What is the problem? The problem happens when all of a sudden you begin to judge those things. So it's not the fear or it's not the anxiety. It's my belief that the anxiety keeps me from something that I want. So now I have anxiety for my anxiety. And I'm saying, well, please, y'all, help me. How do I get through this anxiety? Because I believe this anxiety is keeping me from what I want. So now I've built an identity around it. The anxiety was never a problem. It was just part of my human experience. It was never the problem. It was part of the human experience. Huh? The anger was never the problem. It was just part of my human experience. But now I'm angry at myself for being angry because I think that somehow that keeps me from what I want. The thought was not the problem. I just think. I just accept as the truth that the thought is keeping me from what I want. So now I'm scared of the thought. So those things just pass, they happen. And then I have a choice. Do I want to identify with it and say this is who I am? Or do I want to use my memory to actually remember that no. No matter what's going on, this is who I am. So memory becomes this tool. Okay? Hear this, right? Memory becomes this tool. And we talked about this so many times. Memory becomes this tool. Because the conditioned mind constantly uses memory to do what? Think of something it doesn't want. Think of the past. Think of the future. And say, oh, nope, this one thing is who I am. But if you're God and you're infinity, how could one moment describe infinity? It can't. But this is what memory does. Now, when we start using memory as a skill, instead of just a conditioned response. All of a sudden, we have this memory of something we don't want. What can we say about that? It can trigger us to actually say, oh, no. I can use my memory now to remember who I am and what I have decided is my truth. I can use my memory right now to decide who I am, okay? So this is why memory becomes this divine skill, okay? You can either sit here and say, oh, this moment defines me, right? That's what Shannon can do, right? Or you can decide that in this moment, I am infinite and I can decide who I am right now. Either way, you're right. Either way, you're absolutely right. You can live by the limitation of the past or the truth of your being. The truth of your being right now, okay? Cool. So here we go. This is why emotional instability doesn't disqualify you from identity. Only indecision does. You can feel fear and still stand as authority. You're not trying to feel powerful. You already are all powerful. You don't need to feel it. You already are it. This is one of the things that also happens, right? When people try to, all right, cool, I'm powerful, I'm God, and now I try to feel more powerful. What they do is they try to feel more powerful at the expense of themselves. So instead of just accepting that I am all powerful, I'm trying to feel powerful. I'm trying to force myself to feel powerful. And then when I feel powerful, I think, oh yeah, I am all powerful. And then when I have a negative emotion, fear, anxiety, jealousy, instead of me simply soothing that inner part of me and saying, even here, I'm still just as powerful, I try to force it away. I abandon myself, trying to make myself feel something for the sake of getting. What does this remind you of? Does this remind you of the story of Satan being cast out of heaven? We have these negative, quote unquote, negative emotions that we say, oh no, I cannot feel this. Let me cast it. Let me throw it out. Let me push this away from myself. And when we do that, what happens? We abandon ourselves. We even feel more anxiety. We start to effort and strive. It feels exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting to do that. But what would happen if I just asked myself, what do I have to believe to be true to feel this way? What do I have to believe to be true to feel jealousy right now? Then I got to the core and was like, well, I don't think I can have it. But then I reinforced the truth and I said, well, if I can see it in consciousness, it exists within me because consciousness is me. So I can have that because everything is already mine. Problem solved, right? So the moment that I actually begin to use even my feelings as tools to get greater clarity on me, I instantly heal myself. Now, the next time that feeling comes up, it becomes a choice to tell the story. Okay? It becomes a choice to tell the correct story. This is it. This is where your power is. Okay? You have two things that are extremely powerful, right? You have your perspective, what you accept as the truth, and then you have your presence. Your perspective, what you expect as what you accept as your truth right now, becomes your sword. Right? Your perspective is your sword. It cuts through time. It cuts through illusion. It reorganizes circumstances. Right? When you stand in your truth, when you use your perspective, reality crumbles around you. Okay? This is your power. This is your sword. And then presence is your shield. Why? Well, it keeps you from suffering. You can still get everything that you want without it. But the more present that you are, the more that you can just observe these thoughts and these emotions and say, this is not who I am. I choose this. It just keeps you from suffering. Because this is half of the battle, is that we'll make this decision. Okay, this is who I am. And now you walk through life and you're constantly sitting there and fighting off emotions and fighting off thoughts. Instead of simply being present and knowing that the thoughts and the emotions, they don't matter. I can choose what I want to identify with. I can let go of what I don't. And even if I catch myself tripping for 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, I can lean back and say, oh, this I am, the God within me, never forgot. The ego, the character might have tripped out, might have stressed, might have forgot, might have been anxious, but God wasn't. I am has always been doing the work. You can move absolutely naturally without resistance. Appreciate you, Macy. Absolutely naturally without resistance. Okay? So identity, here we go. Identity is not emotional consistency. It is positional consistency. It's simply me returning to that position, to the decree of I am that I am, right? The decree, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. So I constantly return to the position of what I desire to be. I'm prosperity, I'm love, I'm the center of this reality, whatever the case may be. That is your power. Cool. So next, the moment identity becomes final. I think this is the last part. Yep. There is a moment where something, quote unquote, clicks. All right? Not hype, not motivation, not excitement, not dopamine, right? But finality, the finality of choice. It's the moment you stop checking reality for permission and stop using techniques as leverage. When you stop asking, is this working? Huh? When you stop basing who you are on outcomes, you simply know where you stand. This is when reality begins moving in ways that feel almost anticlimactic, right? Because friction has finally ended. Cause was restored to its proper place. This is it right here. This is it right here. When you begin to just simply, and simply is a very intentional word right there. When you begin to just simply know where you stand. It doesn't need, the trumpets might not sound, the sky might not open, there might not be this wave of peace. It could even be in a moment of anger, right? I've had some of y'all that I've worked with that were just like, well, yeah, man, I was just tired. I was sick and tired. I was pissed off. I just sat in the bed. And I constantly just said, no, I don't accept this. This is who I am. I don't care how I feel about it. This is just who I am. And that was the moment. That was the decision. It was simply a choice. This is final. This is what it is. This is the line in the sand. From this moment moving forward, this is who I am. And it doesn't matter how I feel about it. And it doesn't even matter if reality shows me or not. This is the character I choose to be right now. I will never be a victim again. Boom. Sometimes it can come with anger, sometimes with peace, sometimes with sadness, sometimes. All that matters is the choice. All that matters is the choice. It's it. All that matters is the choice. All right? So in closing, nothing in your life is waiting for more effort. It's waiting for a clearer cause. Identity. Identity is not a quote unquote mindset, right? It's not a personality upgrade. It is not a motivational stance. It is the first cause. It is a commitment to who you're going to be from this point forward, all right? And until it's settled, everything else will feel like work. Until you settle on identity, everything else will feel like work. Affirming will feel like work. Visualization. But when you settle on your identity, you know what affirming becomes? Fun. Do you know what visualization is? Whenever you decide your identity, it's fun. It's I can actually enjoy this right now. I can enjoy this right now. It becomes fun, all right? Once it's settled, work becomes expression, all right? So I got a love letter to y'all. So we're going to end this with a love letter, then we're going to do questions, okay? No, of course not. Affirming is not necessary at all. Not necessary at all. The only thing that's necessary is identity, is a choice. God doesn't need to affirm. God simply needs to choose, decide, who are you being, all right? So here we go. Got a love letter for y'all. From me to me, but hear it as if it's written to you. Okay, cool. Beloved, I am done pretending that more effort will fix what only a decision can change. I see it clearly now. Nothing in my life was waiting for more thinking, more healing, more affirming, or more preparation. It was waiting for me to decide where I stand. I kept moving the furniture around inside the same room and calling it transformation. I called it growth. I called it patience. In truth, it was just hesitation. I released the habit of treating identity like a preference I revisit depending on how the day goes. I am not flexible at the level of cause anymore. I do not outsource who I am to feelings, circumstances, or timelines. I do not wait for proof before I take my position. From this moment forward, I understand that identity is not something I work toward. It is something I occupy. I will stop asking if this is working. I stop scanning the world for reassurance. I stop using techniques as leverage, prayers as bargaining, or affirmations as pleas. Those were the habits of a self that believed power was elsewhere. I choose where cause lives now. It lives here. I accept that reality will not always reflect this choice immediately, and I am no longer threatened by that gap. I will not flinch, adjust, or retreat if the mirror lags. Delay is simply reorganization. I remain still at the level that matters. I don't need to feel certain to be decided. I don't need emotional alignment to be the authority. I don't need permission to remain who I have chosen to be. Feelings may move, conditions may argue, but I stay. If I forget, I will remember. If I react, I will return. If I doubt, I will not renegotiate. I am not fragile here. This is not performance. I understand now that effort was never the issue. Indecision was. And I'm done living as if my life is caused by anything outside of me. I am done living as if my life is caused by anything outside of me. I take my seat at cause and I remain there until I consciously choose otherwise. Nothing else is required. Nothing else is required. I am that I am, right? No matter what, okay? No matter what. Cool. All right, bro. So that's what I wanted to discuss today, identity. I wanted to get into identity with a little bit more depth, okay? So let's do questions. Let's do questions. I know I haven't done a good letter in a while, right? Irrevocable. For the gifts and the callings of God are irrevocable. I believe that is Romans 11:29. 10:29, 11:29. I know somebody knows it. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Appreciate you, Queen. How do you not feel crazy when nothing's changing? If you're aware nothing is changing, how will it change? Exactly what I said, right? It's perspective. Just look at it as reorganizing. Look at it as reorganizing. There's nothing wrong with your feelings. Appreciate you, Elliot. How do you keep the mindset without bending to the thoughts of doubt? Yeah. We're gonna have to do a if y'all wanna ask questions, I'm gonna have to ask y'all questions. How much of this did you hear? And I get it, right? You just want your stuff, but kind of what y'all are asking is kind of going away from the foundation of what we're talking about, right? Is how do you stay focused when the mind does whatever, the doubt? Like this whole discussion was just about the truth, like accepting it as a truth. It doesn't matter if you doubt. It doesn't matter what you think. It just matters what you know. It just matters what you know. Okay, this is the whole point of what we've been discussing. Going through tough times because you simply decide to be fine. Exactly, Cajun style. Exactly. That is one of the greater realizations too, right there, right? Instead of me trying to drag somebody into belief or knowing, I simply choose who they are. I simply, if you can, let me say this, right? If you can manifest a specific person to come back, then why can't you simply decide other people are healthy and healed and whole and more loving and kinder? You do it with everybody. Everybody is a vehicle for your assumption. It's not just your specific person, right? It's everybody. Bring yourself back into awareness, right? When the thoughts come through, exactly. Return home. Return home. Return home to the truth. Return home to the truth. Return home to the truth. The thoughts come. I return back to the truth. The thoughts come and I return back to the truth. And I do that over and over and over again. You do it relentlessly. I do it with love. I do it with grace. I do it with compassion for myself. Exactly. How can you doubt if you know, right? Even if you do doubt, you rest or you return to the knowing. The ego mind will, you'll have times where the questions come up like, well, you say it's the truth, but I don't see shit. No, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. The mind just knows patterns, right? Can we say that we don't see the evidence because we are the evidence? You have to actually live. Well, I mean, that's the beautiful way to put it, right? And that's how we always put it is, if you're waiting for something out there, have you truly accepted that you are reality? And if you are reality, then what is the proof that things are changing? This is why this is that $1 million question. What you just asked is the $1 million question. If I am reality, what is the proof that everything is changed? My identity, my decision that it has all changed. I am the proof. My decision is the proof because I am reality. I no longer look at reality. I look as reality. So I am the proof it's all working out. I'm the proof everything changes. They're not the proof. They're within me. They're within me. I am the proof. When I accept the truth, truth is knowing. Knowing is truth. When I accept the truth, I am the proof. I am the truth. They couldn't have put I am the proof in scripture. It would have just been a little bit too obvious. I am the truth. We're like, yeah, motherfuckers we gonna cook with this. Motherfuckers gonna misunderstand the shit out of this. I am the truth. Right? This is what it meant. I am the truth. It's me. I am the knowing. I am reality. I am the truth. They had put I am the proof in there. But the proof of what, Jesus? Yeah, the mind does tell a side story, but that's fine. The mind's not creating. There's a big one. Like those random, the thoughts just, they're not creating, right? They just flow. The thoughts show up. The emotions show up seemingly automatically. So I simply accept the truth and go from there. Because I believe in God. I like to know that God dwells inside me and has already given me. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. When it comes to exams, do I have to study or can I synthesize? You can simply decide. You can for sure simply decide. But does that feel right to you? If you pull the identity, if you are the identity of someone who passes it, all right, without studying, okay? Yes, there's no right or wrong way. Everything flows from that identity. So yes, you make the choice. I'm not limiting y'all. I've seen so many interesting things in this journey. I've seen people ask that same question and breeze through classes. I've seen people have money show up in their account. I've seen money change. People change their height, change their weight without changing anything, just changing their truth of who they are. I've seen shit. Even with my mom, right? I've seen her tumor just completely disappear. So I mean, oh shit, got the puzzle piece. So the only limitations that we have are the limitations that we accept. That's it. Well, the tree of knowledge, it's yeah. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at it. When it comes from a reality creation perspective, the way that I look at the tree of knowledge is this. Because if you ask 10 people, if you go in the metaphysical meaning, you're going to find several. The way that I like to look at it from a reality creation perspective is this. So in the garden, you were quote unquote tended to and taken care of. All right. Now the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because remember, Adam, let's think about it from this perspective. Adam could represent the conscious mind. Eve represents the feminine. What is the job of the conscious mind? The conscious mind chooses, it decides. We walk through reality and we say, this is this is that. This is why Adam was told to name the animals. You name the circumstances. You name things. You say, this is good, this is bad, this is working out, this isn't. Okay, cool. So the eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which ended up getting them cast out of the quote unquote garden, was simply a falling into duality. If they eat like this, they will be like gods. What does that mean? Or they'll be like us. What does that mean? It means now you get to create with both the light and the dark, meaning you get to say it's working out or you get to say it's not working out. You get to choose. So you simply fall into judgment. You fall into judgment. So in the beginning, these motherfuckers were just running around happy. They didn't even know they were naked, just yippee, just dancing in the garden. Okay. Then they ate and they started hiding. We're naked. They started judging themselves. All right. They started judging themselves. So that's when we talk about the Garden of Eden, one of the symbolic metaphors is childbirth. All right. You're in the womb and the Spirit of God flowed over the waters, representing your first baptism. The true baptism that you have, where the Spirit of God flows over the waters and then your water breaks, the mother's water breaks, and boom, here you are. And in that process of birth, you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and then you are cast out of the garden, out of unity with God into physical reality, where now you must find your way. And then scripture becomes this entire story of people finding their way in consciousnness. The Old Testament, all the characters are within you. Now the New Testament, Jesus represents the I am. All these other characters are within you as well. And then you have the marriage of the Lamb and the bridegroom, representing the rise of the Christ consciousness. So it's basically a story of falling into duality to what? Ascending back into the truth of who you are. It's just a long story. Yeah, long ass story, bro. Yeah, different states of consciousness. Oh, shit. Yeah, facts. You more amazing. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. We all in this journey together. So what is called true name? What do you mean? What does that mean? Oh, what is God's true name? I mean, true name, guys. To say the true name of it, that's always been a funny conversation to me. People are like, what's the true name? And I'm like, I don't know. Did God tell you? God simply is, right? God, so we can attribute all these names. Remember, the names that people attribute are just so they can make God represented by them. So they can give God some kind of personality to help justify their way of being or their belief, right? God is the infinite spirit that has always existed and always will exist. To say that there is a one true name is like, it's such a funny thing because you'll say something to somebody about, oh, that's not God's true name. This is a true name. I'm like, yeah, shut your bitch ass up. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? So that's my belief. Exactly, man. At least man-made words. Just man-made words. God is not male or female, right? God just is beingness itself. Because we have this individualized perspective, we get to experience, kind of the masculine and feminine polarity and all of that. But God just is not bound by gender or race or name or one would be imagining a big ass black God in the sky, a big ass white man as a God in the sky. My goodness. Can you give advice? How do I not feel crazy saying I have him when I don't in physical reality? Alyssa, one day you're going to get tired of asking the same question. So you're just going to decide that you are physical reality. Your reality, that's how. Every time we go in, every time that we kind of go down this path, you constantly just are like, oh no, I don't want to make this easy and accept the truth. I want to focus on everything outside of me. How do you accept that he's within you if everything out there is saying, well, no, if you believe that out there is the truth of reality, and you're trying to convince your ego mind that you have him when you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So the path that I'm constantly pushing you towards, that you accepted the last 2 times and then you keep going back, is that you are reality. You have him because he's within you and you are reality. That's it. That's how you accept. Anything else is just psychotic behavior, trying to walk around and pretend you have somebody when physical reality is showing you that you don't. We accept that physical reality is not the truth. It's just a projection of within. It's not the truth. It's just a projection from within. Nothing outside you is final unless you decided it, unless you want it to be. Let's turn the Zen music on. Here we go. Dang, I forgot to check Instagram this whole time. Tripping. Why do I keep doing that? We are intimate beings in the spiritual world. What's up, y'all? Identity is made up. Everything is already ours. Our power is in the correct story. We are intimate beings in the spiritual world. Cool. What do you mean that's simple? If he's within me, something comes something. If he's within me, I would have him come over tonight. How often do you personally remind yourself of your identity? These days, I've reminded myself so many times that it's just, I don't really remind myself too often. I'm just always kind of present in the knowing that it's like my name. I don't really remind myself of my name all the time. Right? I simply exist with the knowing that I'm Alex. The same way that I exist with the knowing that God is within me and that everything I desire is the truth. I think I made it my priority for so long that it just is at this point in time. That's why that 30-day challenge, I'm pushing y'all not to get in there and start asking about SPs all the goddamn time and really take it serious for the next 30 days. Make I am source the forefront, the center of your being, because I'm telling you that's where all the miracles are. All right, when you put this at the center of your being, when you make it your identity. Moving forward, to just know that reality unfolds from within you. It's life-changing that's it. It's life-changing. That's about as close as we can get to explaining the truth, is that it's life-changing. It's absolutely beautiful, right? The 30-day challenge was We started on December 1st. It was really just, I was ranting on the live. I was just going down on a tangent. And I said, what would happen if you stopped trying to get these one little thing and you just decided that everything was working out for you? Alignment. What's up, Mandy? How you doing? What would you do? What would your life be if you just decided that everything was working out for you? If you just decided to make the center of your knowing, to make your personality, your identity, that you were God. And every time you forgot, you remembered. And for the next 30, how would your life change in a month? If that became the priority in your life, if everything that you want is on the other side of that decision, why wouldn't you allow that to be the priority? Why not make the priority of your life being present and walking around in the knowing that you are source? And that's it. And that's absolutely it. And so that became, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a challenge. I was like, somebody make a Telegram for it and let's do a challenge. And I started talking. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make the Telegram. I'm just going to make it a challenge. So I made the Telegram and I was like, okay, cool. And then people joined. So it's been cool, right? So every day I do a mission. So I do a write-up on a mission. I say, okay, this is your mission for today. Today do this, that, boom. Like for instance, I'll give you all an example of the mission. All right, so today's mission was today's mission. Today was Set the Tone Day. Today we remember our power. We don't react to reality. We set the tone and reality follows like a loyal puppy. God doesn't wait to see how things feel before deciding who to be God. Damn. Before deciding to be God. Damn, y'all didn't correct the typo or nothing. My bad, y'all. God decides the identity first, then lets the world rearrange around it. Most people think power is action. Power is the atmosphere of your being. Today is not about fixing anything, proving anything, or forcing alignment. How can you become what you already are? That's a ridiculous thing to try to do. It is about choosing the tone you carry and refusing to abandon it. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So every day there's missions and then there's daily reminders. And there's just a lot of conversation about a lot of stuff, right? So, of course, the free Telegram, the link's in the bio. There's a link tree in my bio. It's the first link. You can click on it. You can join. All right, even if you don't want to do the challenge, it's just good for the reminders. But I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. There's like a tab for success stories. There's a tab for all kinds of things. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's affirmation tab. I ain't gonna lie, it is kind of wild in there. It's a bunch of people that have been dropped on their head in there. So, but it's cool. It's fun. Watch all the hit dogs gonna holler right now. Look, all the guilty motherfuckers are all over there talking. I ain't even say any name. They just all defending themselves. Hey, what do you mean? Stop. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing. I will welcome anybody to join it. So it's pretty cool. All right, if y'all want to join, you can join. Let's do this. But in order to be fair, because I've been spending like an hour on some of y'all, okay? I barely spend an hour with people that pay, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to have a limit, all right? From this point forward, we're going to start doing limits. 15-minute limits, okay? So have your questions prepared, 15-minute limits. It's just fair for more people to be able to get a chance. Because sometimes, I'll get a little too patient. And we end up just talking in circles. All right, so 15 minutes per person. Matter of fact, I'm going to set an alarm so that I wonder if I was like a alarm on. That would be cool if there was like a. Is there a timer on here? Oh, what does that mean? No, I don't want that. Oh yeah, I'm for sure serious about the time. It's just, it's getting to a point where the community's growing, right? And I don't want it to be to like, I'm talking to the same people for an hour all the time. And sometimes, it is exhausting. As y'all know, right? If it's exhausting for y'all to listen, sometimes it's kind of exhausting for me to be down here. 10 minutes does sound better. Maybe 12. I'm going to do 12 minutes. Sometimes it can be exhausting to... so it just keeps everybody on point. You only have X amount of time. I'll even do a check for y'all. I'll be like, okay, you have X amount of time left. I'm just going to do the timer on my phone. All right, let's go. Who's first up? Who's going to be an easy person first? We're going to start this off with a little bit of ease for me. Hello, hello.
Hello.
What's up, Leslie? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am great.
Good. Yeah, easy question.
Okay.
I am doing a lot better since we talked with my kids and just not being as worried about things. I'm feeling a lot better and a lot more solid in who I am. I just keep returning to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask because I really want to kind of getting back into this. Really, I've been kind of just letting things unfold and I haven't really had specific desires pop up until recently.
Okay.
And I'm curious as to how to bring those. Do I just bring them into my mind and think about them? Is there a specific way that I just do whatever? Because I'm trying not to be techniquey, obviously, but I'm having specific desires. Or does the arising of the desire
mean the fulfillment? That's it. That's where I was going to lead you, right? So when you begin to accept that you are source, which you have, and so all of the desires that you feel or realize or observe, they have to come from source because everything rises and falls within consciousness. Now, there's nothing to actually do. Your desire is the fulfillment. It is God simply recognizing that part of God already exists within you. So you might have a desire for a person or a car or whatever. You couldn't desire it if it wasn't God simply recognizing, getting to understand that was already within itself. So now we simply just accept the desire as the truth. That is it. Now, you can do the techniques, right? I'm not anti-technique. I just don't want you to do them from lack, right? If you want to experience it in your imagination, do the affirmations, do the visualizations, do whatever. But you don't have to. You can simply decide that, okay, the desire is the truth of my being from now on. I couldn't have a desire if it wasn't the truth. Now it becomes the fulfillment.
Okay. Because I find myself getting, and I think it's just a little bit of PTSD from all the LOA stuff that I kind of came from. I find myself trying to get like down to the minute detail, like, I want to be here with my kids, and then I'm like, but I want everybody to like be able-bodied. I don't want to like be back with my kids because somebody ends up in a car crash. You know what I'm saying? Like I find myself trying to get down to these very minute details of how I want it and trying to make sure that I fully explain what I'm meaning in my mind, and that feels like work.
But
Like it feels
Leslie,
like it's work.
who do you think that you're talking to? Who do you think
Wow.
when you're affirming and trying to clarify, who do you think is on the other side of that conversation?
It's me. It's
Exactly.
me.
So whether you're specific or vague, it means nothing. Here's another kind of
Okay.
mind-bending question. This is something that I just want you to ponder. I'm going to throw it out there. Is if you were specific or vague, if you started to ruminate and think about that decision, think about that desire or not, because the desire comes from within you, because you already know what you want, because this is a source that knows you better than you know yourself, is closer to you than you are to yourself. Do you even have to worry about trying to figure out exactly what you want? Or would exactly what you want just show up for you?
It would just show up.
Exactly. So that's the level of trust I want you to get to, is this understanding that if you are everything, if that source is within you, then who are you clarifying to?
You're right. Yeah.
The desire showed up because you were placed in a situation, and here's the trippy part. That situation just revealed the truth that has always been within you.
Right.
So it was its source that nudged you towards making the choice. But the choice, it even begs the question, is the choice even yours?
No, because I didn't consciously think it. It just popped into my awareness.
It just pops in your awareness, right? So when we start to accept that this part of us knows the details of our desires better than we know them, and we just allow ourselves to ride through life knowing that we're source, the magic happens. But are you comfortable with that right now?
I can be. I mean, when I get in that circle, I was getting in that cycle a little bit this week.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable. Like, I don't like it because
Yeah.
then I start to fear and worry and, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? And I'll catch myself and go back to I am that I am no matter what, and stand in that when I get falling down that path. I don't like having to get into the minute details. Sometimes I enjoy visualizing a little bit.
Yeah.
But even that, it feels like work. I don't like to work for this. I don't want to work for any of this.
So then accept that that's the truth, right? You don't want to work for it. And if your desires are made manifest, then the desire to not work is perfectly fine. Allow that to manifest. Allow that to be your truth now. Right? You don't have to work. You can just accept that you're divinely supported because you are. Right? And a lot of times we'll sit around and we'll make choices, but even a lot of the choices are just illusions. The choice just empowers us to get out of our own way. But the choice would have been made anyway because we would have been pushed to the choice by ourselves.
Right.
Which is a very trippy thing to think about. However, so we start to when we make choices, the choice isn't for God, isn't for source, it is for the ego. It is just to satisfy and soothe that part of me that wants a little bit of control, that ego mind that wants control. But the choice has already been made.
It just appears to the ego.
It just appears. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got this. I would say if you do want to kind of relieve yourself, if you find ways to, one of the people I was working with a couple of days ago, what they said was, well, yeah, I know that all of the desires are going to be met. They're all going to unfold, but it helps me to make small micro decisions on the road there. And I can let go, I can hold on, I can say, well, even if this shows up or not, it's still going to lead me exactly where I want, but this will be nice. So, of course, those things start showing up for them, and it gives them more confidence overall, but they don't really give a damn if it shows up or it doesn't show up.
Right.
But it's just like a way to ease their mind on the journey.
Yeah, I understand. I've done that a little bit before with other things that weren't so close to my heart, with just random stuff around. I do that a lot of times, and stuff will just pop up all the time, pretty instantly. Feedback. So that's a good idea. I can do that. Exactly. All right, I can do it. I got this. Thank you.
Of course you got this, Leslie. You always have. You always have.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Appreciate you. That was cool. There's still 6 minutes left. All right, who's next? Who wants their 15 minutes? All right, Lisa, you're next. Let me get the clock ready. Yeah, that was a great question. I love conversations like that. What up, Alyssa?
Hey, sorry, I'm trying 1 second. Don't set the clock, let me 2 seconds.
Girl, it's already set. It's already rolling.
I'm eating cookies. Okay. So my brain... Alright, so I know we've talked. It's so weird. I literally got him... I'm shutting off the comments. I get distracted.
Yeah.
Should I pop my face on here? No, that doesn't matter for that.
No,
Anyway. So, I got him back for like a day. We went out to dinner and we ended up I slept over. Like everything went so good. He's like, I wish I would have talked to you sooner. Then we're like texting back and forth for 2 days and he kept putting me off. And I kept deciding like, no, this is who I am. I kept wavering. I was like, no, this is who I am. So we got back together for like 2 days. And then last night he was like, yeah, like, I just don't think this is working. And then he's like, I don't want to give up, but I'm scared about like the fighting. And he just like won't let go of the past. So I was like, okay, I'm still her. And I just keep deciding like, no, I'm still her. But I'm just so exhausted because he's not giving like any effort. And I feel I feel so crazy because like he's not giving any effort. And I feel like he's choosing this. And I know you're going to tell me like I'm choosing this, but
okay. Oh. If you know that I'm going to say that, then why do you continue to go?
I don't know. I don't want to choose this though anymore. Like, it's like why I'm choosing differently, but I'm just really having a hard time because my brain just keeps going like, oh, I'm not her anymore. And then it's like, yeah, I am. No, it's not. Yeah, I am. No, it's not. And it's like, yes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't create. I'm so her. But I'm so tired. That's why, like, I'm like, do I just let go of everything at this point? Because I'm, like, so exhausted, like, crying all the time. I'm her. I'm not. I'm her. I'm not. Like, I literally am driving myself crazy.
It's, okay. Well, it's not. You're still trying to fight your thoughts. You're not accepting that your thoughts aren't creating.
I am, because I'm still, like, doesn't matter. I'm still her. But I'm just, like, I'm exhausted of, like, the battle in my brain. And
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Trying to observe it.
Listen, hold up. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying, is that you're not just accepting that you're her. You're still trying to battle your thoughts with your her. Instead of just accepting that your thoughts don't matter, you're still trying to battle them, which just makes them louder and louder and louder. Which goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which was presence. Which was how often are you present during the day? How many times do you do things that allow you to be present, that allow you to be in this moment? How often do you intentionally put yourself in a position where instead of sitting around and fighting your thoughts, you can allow your thoughts to be and you can just watch them? Have you done the exercise where you simply sit there and you just allow your thoughts to be whatever and just know that you're still it?
I mean, that's how, like, he came back really quick, was I just got, like, really pissed off one day, and I just, like, I'm her, and I kind of just, like, did it all day.
Listen. I don't care about him, okay? I care about you, right?
Yeah.
This is not about this is what I want you to understand. This is not about you getting him back. This is you making a choice on your identity indefinitely. This is who you are going to be for the rest of your life, is somebody who puts themselves at the center of reality. This is not a technique to get someone. This is an identity that gets you everything. And this identity does not require you to fight your thoughts or flip your thoughts. Okay? It simply requires you to accept the truth. Do you believe that it's sustainable for you to sit around and flip your thoughts for the rest of your life?
Oh my God, no. Yeah, and like I feel like I said, I keep having these thoughts of like, he doesn't care anymore, and I believe he cares, he doesn't, he does it, and then I'm like, okay, I could do sleep tapes to feel better, and then like, you know, that's a lie, I'm still her. I think it would help, but I also think, I'm like, no, I'm still her, and I'm just tired, dude. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. I know you say it's not, but
it's not. It's
really hard when he's at his friend's house right now, and I'm sitting here crying. I feel like stupid.
You're not changing your identity. You're still just trying to change your thoughts. You're not changing your identity. If you change your identity, you would accept that your thoughts don't matter. But you haven't changed your identity. You're still trying to change your thoughts. And then you're looking for proof out there to validate what you can only validate yourself as. Look, it does not matter if he comes over. It doesn't matter if he spends 8 nights in a row with you. It does not matter. You will still trip and say you need more from him. You will always need more validation from people out there until you decide to be the validation and just accept as an absolute fact, as law, that you are that woman, that you are that girl, that you are her. Once you accept that, you can relax into that and you can stop fighting your thoughts. But until then, you're just going to be in this battle where you're fighting your thoughts all day, looking outside, hoping for things to change. If they do change, you feel a little bit happy, but then you still feel anxiety. And if they don't change, now you feel a whole lot of anxiety and you feel desperate and you still try to flip your thoughts. That is not the way to live. It's not.
It just would be like a little nice to see like something though, because like I just like I'm trying, and like I'm trying to change my identity. I'm trying to do shadow work. I'm trying to do these things, and like I feel like I like should just be loved like now. I feel like it shouldn't be like oh, I'm scared he's not gonna call me. He's not gonna text me. I'm not good enough. He's better than me. And then I'm like, no, like I'm still hurt. Like I just feel like I shouldn't have to like do all this just to like have
a
partner.
That is the illusion, is you think that you have to do all of that. And what you're really saying is you're not worthy of just being loved just as you are. But you already are worthy of being loved just the way that you are.
Do you see what would you do if you're not seeing any effort on his part, like to chill you out? Like it feels crazy. Like being like, oh yeah, he still loves me. He totally cares when like I see nothing. Like, it's just like, I'm tired.
Alyssa, I said this last time. I'm going to say this one more time. You're treating this man like Jesus Christ. You're treating him like God. You have put him on such a high pedestal that you can't even have a conversation with me about you without bringing up what he's doing. If the moment that you can decide that this is your identity and this is how you're treated, no matter if he shows up or not, that will be when he shows up. But until then, you're just going to be trying to think about what you're doing. You are literally just doing a bunch of shit to get him back. You're not doing any of this for you. This has nothing to do with you. I can't even bring the conversation back to you. You keep making it about him. This man, you might as well worship him right now. You might as well build a church for him and be the main pastor, the prophet of this man's church. This is how you're acting. So until you can make yourself the center of reality and continue to bring yourself back to you, okay, over and over and over again, it's going to be a loop. This is not the way you want to live. Until you can Exactly. You will constantly be tired trying to do something to get somebody out there to validate you when only you could. It didn't matter how many gifts he got you. It doesn't matter how big that meat is. It doesn't matter how much meat he delivers to you on Sunday, Monday, all the way back around to Saturday. It does not matter. Until you can validate yourself, it will never be enough. Ever.
Well, like, it would help. I did believe, like, all those things then when he was texting me and, like, was making the effort. That, like, it would make me feel a little better if I got, like, a little something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, cool, like, yeah.
No, it wouldn't. You did get a little something. You just got a little something the other day. You were like, we spent the whole day together and he came over. That didn't do shit to you. So you got a little something. It didn't matter. So don't sit here and lie to me and say, oh, if I got a little something, it would feel better. No, it wouldn't. You already got something. You haven't decided who you are yet. You're still waiting. Your entire self-concept is tied up in this man. Everything that you did, like your entire sense of self-worth is tied up with him. Put yourself on the pedestal. To be honest with you, like as a brother, right? If I was talking to you as an older brother, okay? You know what I'm going to tell you? What do you think I'm going to tell you right now?
Being pathetic.
Not pathetic. I'm not going to tell you that you're being pathetic. I'm going to tell you that I believe that you should drop him until you can put yourself back on the center of reality. Because I think that at this point in time, because we've had so many conversations, I believe it would be irresponsible for me to continue saying the same thing to you over and over again. I think until you can stand in a position of power and command reality to you and not be trying to look out there and do things to get reality to conform, I think you're just going to suffer, Alyssa.
So I can just like you said, it's so simple, but why does it feel not simple? Like if I'm her, right, and I'm just like, yeah, like he still loves me, he still cares, and I have no proof. That's like fighting the ego mind still.
Yeah, because you're still making it conditional, right?
Yeah.
You're still judging yourself and saying you're doing something wrong. You're still trying to figure out more. What else can I do? What else can I know? What do I not understand? You're asking the exact same questions over and over again. And by the way, there's 3 minutes and 46 seconds. You keep asking the same questions over and over again. You don't have an information issue right now. You have an acceptance of the truth of who you are. This is what it constantly comes down to, is that you will not accept who you are.
I just feel like, well, like, why am I keep attracting partners that keep doing this, or it's something within me that, like, I don't feel like love should be something that I just, like he just gave up on me. Like, I'm having trouble accepting that. Like, I feel like I don't deserve that.
You don't deserve that. You are worth more than that. But you're holding on. Alyssa, think about what you're doing. You are saying, because this happened, this is who I am. You're constantly making yourself suffer. Because you're looking out there and you're saying, oh, I must be doing something wrong because I'm seeing this. You're basing your reality. You're basing your identity on things out there, and you're constantly beating yourself up instead of choosing. When you begin to choose who you are, instead of waiting for things out there to show you who you are, that is when you're going to be in the positions that you want. But as long as you're looking out there for evidence, instead of understanding and choosing to know that you are reality and you are the evidence, what is the evidence that everything has changed? You've made the decision. What is the evidence that everything is working out? You.
How can I choose from lack? Huh? No, like I feel like I'm in lack.
You're not in lack. You're just not basing your identity on the truth. Stop giving yourself all of these labels.
So I just say I'm so her and like he still loves me and then my brain keeps fighting it though? Like, you know?
Yes. That's what everybody does. But the more that you stand in the truth, the quieter the mind gets.
If I just keep feeding myself that story, even though I waver, won't I just like...
What is wavering?
Does that mean like I'll get mixed like results?
What is wavering? What are all these things that you keep coming up with? There is only the truth. The truth is that it is you. The mind, because it doubts, is not wavering. It's because you keep saying that it's wavering. You keep saying that it's lack. You keep saying nothing's happening. It's not working because this is not showing me it. You keep saying these things instead of accepting the truth. You keep saying, you are cursing yourself by saying that you can't get what you want. You are creating the story of lack. You're creating the story of it's not working. You are creating the story of wavering. It's you.
So I don't have to like try to like convince my brain like that he like misses me and wants this to work and like assume he's sad and all these things.
No, because it's just the truth. Why do you have to convince the mind of truth? The truth doesn't care if you believe it or doubt it. It's just the truth.
So, like, do I try to force myself to think the things I
No.
want and just accept it as truth, even if I'm,
No.
like, battling the thoughts?
It's just the truth. You expect the truth to show up. Your thoughts, your doubts, your beliefs, your denials do not matter because the truth is just the truth.
So, as identity, like you said, I have to, like, still decide, like, I'm her, even though, like, I'm still fearful and I have no proof. But so, how do I not wait, like, and look for it, like, and know we're not together now, but, like, it's coming? Like, how do I not keep, when I manifest just more, like, it's coming, it's like I'm waiting, or no?
No. Because you are reality. Because you are because you are reality. You're not waiting because you're the proof. You're reality. When you make the decision, it's done.
I
Okay?
can so I can just, like, decide, like,
No, that was the alarm.
like, is it that easy? Like, I can decide that things,
That was the
things
alarm.
like, start changing tonight and it changing, or no? That will, like, keep it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yes, you can do that. You can do that, Alyssa. Just decide. Just decide. Right? I love you. Okay? Okie dokie. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Next. I don't mean to cut you off as a rude way. It's just gotta be fair. Gots to be fair. What's up? What's up?
Aww.
What it do, Glow?
How did I know it was gonna be me?
Because you're magical. You're absolutely magical. How you doing?
Hi. I think Alyssa going right before me was good in that I understand both of you. I see God. I see myself in both of you. Yeah, and so
Of course.
I don't like. There's a question in here, and so I'm gonna need a little bit of help of getting there. But my SP wasn't responding, and it was okay. I was like, like I just returned to my own power, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. Like I know the truth, and I know who I am, and then finally did respond, but responded with taking off my location. So, yeah, and so you can't see it anymore. And so, I think about what you say about how
What's up, Glow? Glow, you cut off. If you're still talking. Glow, you're muted. I didn't like that cutoff, by the way. It didn't feel good to me. But I simply know that it's a fair thing to do. What's up, Glow? You still here?
say that again. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Say that again.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying. Oh, you just cut off. You went mute while you were talking.
Oh, I think I was done. Yeah, it's just, and like, again, just because I've been here for so long, I've asked, like, Alex, what do I do? And you're like, there's nothing to do. You live through it one day at a time. Give yourself grace, treat yourself like, someone you love, like a closest friend or my mom. And yeah, so I understand, Alyssa, like it hurts, absolutely, like it hurts, but just one day at a time. I guess like I understand, Alyssa, in that I'm also looking for like soothing and comfort, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I understand what she's saying about the I want it now, and this really, really hurts. Even if I return to who I am, and it doesn't matter.
I agree. what I will say is this, and I think this is an important point to put out, right? That's why I make so many jokes about the specific people. That's why I talk so much shit. The further that, okay, the more and more that we put someone else on a pedestal, the more and more that we begin to worship this person, or we make this person the center of our focus, the more that we leave our throne at the center of reality, the more that you walk away from your power, the more that you forfeit your authority, the more that you weaken your sense of self, the more that you abandon yourself. The more that we make this all about one person, the more and more we feel like we are losing ourselves. The more and more hopeless and desperate we get, guys, it's a cycle. It's such a dangerous cycle to be on. So I'm very careful with the way that I try to talk to y'all through these situations, because I do not want you to lose yourself. It's what I constantly say, man. It's we get on this specific person journey, and instead of us sitting in the church in a pew and praying to a God in the sky, we turn the prayers into affirmations, and instead of sending it to the source, instead of us knowing that we are the source, we are sending affirmations to this person like they are God. More specific, less specific. What do I have to do to get them? What do I have to do to make them happy? What do I have to do for them to come back into my life? What do I have to do? Do I have to visualize? Do I have to affirm? Do I have to saturate? Do I do it? What do I do? What do I do? Please, please tell me, what do I do to get them, because I fucking need them. Guys, it's such a dangerous path to go on. All right? And so
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just, so it's not like with ill intention, right? It's well, I tell y'all this shit with love, with absolute love, right? You are the center of reality. You can have whatever you want. You can choose to experience the love through whoever you want, but there's a point where it's just we get on this, and every day we just get more and more and more and more unempowered, more and more and more, weakened, right? So yeah, I get why some people don't make SP content as well. I completely get it, because it doesn't matter what I say, right? And I'm noticing that I'm becoming more and more even aware of that as I continue down this journey of even being in this coaching space. Is it doesn't matter what I say, someone will find a way to say, yeah, that's fucking cool, but what about NSP? Today I made a video and it was like, I've seen people heal cancer. I've seen people show up with money. I've seen people change their body parts. And the first comment on there was, what about an SP? I was like, God damn, y'all. Damn. So we spend this time so focused on what can I do to get this person that we completely abandon ourselves, and we're not even in the center of reality anymore. We've put ourselves in this as the side character in somebody else's story.
Yeah. And I've heard other people come up on the TikTok live and talk about it too. And I can see your perspective, and that like what you're like reminding them of, hey, like you're the center of reality, like you are God, like you're choosing this, right? Like part of it's not that you're choosing this, but you're choosing to latch and cling to this identity. And I don't care what we label it. If somebody in the chat wants to label it like ego or whatever it is, but there's something in me that says, oh, but you're different. Like, you don't do that. And it's like saying, oh, you're the exception. Because I, like, from a very honest, like, place, I don't think my life has changed in that, like, I'm still going to work every day, like, with or without SP. Like, I've still been I've still been operating very similarly, if not like slightly better. Like I know I've come on here and I've talked about it, how without consciously knowing what we know now, I've always been just a miracle generator. Like even today, I found like on my way to work, I found more money, more coins on the ground, like abundance, yay! But this is not new. Like this has always been me. I've always been this way, and it's really interesting how, like it extends to the people I know consistently, like every time. So then now people send me pictures of when they find coins on the ground. They're like, oh, like I like, hey, like I'm turning into you, and I'm like, yeah, you are. Congratulations, you met me. You're healed. Like, everybody in the chat now is gonna start finding money on the ground. And so, yeah, I think my point to all of this is that my life is like the same. It's a little bit better in that now I'm doing things consciously, and I'm reminding myself faster and better. And so I'm like, but Alex, I'm not like the other people that come up on your lives. Like I'm different. Like I'm still like I'm doing really really well. And I know you said this. Like, why would your SP be any different? Why would he be an exception? And yeah, so I feel Alyssa's frustration of like I'm doing the things. I don't think I'm doing the things. I'm living my life normally and just going back, like interacting in the Telegram, and remembering and deciding constantly, and feeling the feelings. And I hesitate to say that I'm lost because that's not what this is. But I guess yeah, I am impatient. I can be honest. I'm impatient. And so I'm reminded of your mom a lot because, like, I guess for me, to me, your mom feeling cancer and, like, SP, it's the same thing, right? In my mind, it is.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Like some
Cool. Okay, so
people's thing is the SP. Other people's thing is money. Other people's thing is their health. Other people's thing is this physical ailment of their family. So like the SP, it can be spread around to all kinds of different things. It's just I look at that one a little bit differently because it's it's involving somebody that we're trying to base an identity around.
it's involving what? Could you say that again?
Yeah, it's like to me, all right, we try to there's just so many different nuances with that journey. Right? There's so many things that we have to kind of dismantle with other people, SP, 3P. There's so many different terminologies that lead to so much dismantling that if you can get to that, you'll be a fucking superhero. Like you'll really walk into this fucking divine elite version of yourself. But I mean, yeah, some people's thing could be, oh, people are easy, but what about prosperity? Some people are like, oh yeah, prosperity is easy, but what about health? All right. So it's we need to understand, or it helps to understand that all these things are the same. But oftentimes, people come into this space and it's like they have issues with one of those things.
Okay. Yeah. When it shouldn't, right? Like it's all the same
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
You are saying that like there's different fractions, like kind of like little like micro.
No, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's just that with
It's
the
all the same.
yeah,
Okay.
it's all the same. With SPs, people are already so addicted to validation from the opposite gender that just becomes something that can really enhance lack in a way that an inanimate object like money might not be able to do. But once again, that's also my perspective. Some people don't really give a damn about all that shit, and they just focus on money. So it's different for different people. It is all the same, but you run into different aspects of yourself within these different journeys.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. I don't know how much time I have left.
140.
And thank you. So I guess a good way to end then is like I still like So I don't want this to happen to me. There's a part of me that says, like, oh, so, like, if it took Alex, quote unquote, 2 years, like, are you willing to do that too? And I'm like, yes, but no. Like, like, I'm not gonna give up, but,
You
like,
don't want to give up, bro.
and,
You don't want to give up. You're just trying to okay. You don't want to give up. You're on the pendulum swinging between belief and doubt, and belief and doubt and hopelessness instead of just leaning on the truth. They're already within you. You're already the proof. You can't give it up anyway because you've already decided that it is the truth. You can't fall out the wish fulfilled unless you consciously make a choice to want something different.
yeah,
Like this
okay.
person is you. They are you. That's the proof. It's not taking a long time. It's already done. It's within you. But when we keep putting our focus on things outside of us and saying that it's taking a long time because we're not judging reality as us, which is the right way. We're judging reality the wrong way. We're basing reality on the illusion. Well, of course, we're constantly creating this situation where things take time.
Yeah, and the last couple thoughts, like when I look at the perspective of he is me, then like I'm gonna be so honest and so real. Like SP aside, like I don't want to talk to me. Like I don't want to be around me. And like we've talked about this before, and I heard you earlier on the live today about like y'all are crazy for trusting your servers. Y'all are crazy
Oh
for
shit.
trusting your car that you haven't done an oil change for, and like that really made me reflect. Like, gosh, like I don't. There's sometimes I trust myself, and sometimes I like so honestly, I genuinely don't. Like, I don't trust myself to like sleep early. I don't trust myself to get up on time. Like, I don't trust myself
Yeah, I don't care
sometimes
about
to get to
time.
places on time.
Yeah, I
But
feel
yeah,
you.
next time.
I feel you. You got this, bro. It's accepting the truth. It's accepting the truth.
I agree. Yay! Thank you so much for your time.
Love
I
you, Glow.
love you so much. I'll see you soon.
Love you more, Glow. Love you more. All right. Next 15-minute block.
Hello, hello.
What's up, Yessie? Happy birthday.
Thank you. I love that you already told me happy birthday so many times. You're a real one for that. Can you please celebrate me for the rest of the month? I wouldn't mind.
Of course. Of course. I got you, man. Everybody, every time y'all see Yessie, you gotta wish her a happy birthday.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Um,
Yes.
I was.
You were muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I wanted to talk to you about like what I was going through earlier.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I got stuck in the middle, like trying to. Oh my goodness! I love the roses. Who was that? Who sent me those roses? I love roses, by the way, guys. It's like if you don't want to go wrong with me, roses will be it.
Yes.
Well, whoever it was, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell who it was, but I truly, truly appreciate it. But yeah, I feel like I got trapped in the middle, like trying to do what you had recommended me to do, but I forgot what you had told me, what you had suggested for me to do at times that I felt triggered, or at times that I felt sad. And I just got trapped in the middle, trying not to do, but also soothe myself at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of where I went more. And I feel like I know for sure, like, even though if I didn't talk to you, and I don't know if that's the reason why you also didn't respond, because I feel like times you kind of do that. I don't know, but it's just like also to allow myself, because what I'm saying, it's the right thing. It's just like I just need to process it, and I'll come to clarity eventually. And I feel like I know I will get it, but as of right now, I'm a little like it's not there. But it's like, how can I accept what's going on, but without me accepting that, okay, I want more of this, like I don't want more of that, but I want to ease myself through that trigger, through the crying, because after I was talking to you, I felt better.
Yeah.
I cried and I felt better.
Good. Speak to yourself the way that you would speak to, that's the technique that we're talking about. Would speak to yourself the way that you would speak to a child, or you would speak to a younger version of you, right? Or give yourself what you need to hear. Tell yourself, we're going to get through this together. This moment right now, we're going to be grateful and proud that we went through it when we have everything that you want. Reassure yourself that everything is working out. Use that time to reinforce and tell yourself the truth. That is what the being soft, being kind and catering to yourself is. That's what I meant when I said that. That's what we talked about, I believe.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of sessions.
But what, I guess, how can I do that, but with also me not accepting things? Because I feel like a lot of the times I'm just like, I kind of always just go by like, okay, I already decided. But and then again, I'm like, I am so powerful that also I don't have to accept certain things for me, right? And they can change within a second, a minute, or whatnot. So I'm like, am I really just, oh, thank you, Source. But also without me, like, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it to you. Like, I can just say, okay, well, this is not my end, but also I'm like, I'm so powerful that stuff can just change within seconds, within minutes.
Are you
so
saying?
How do I kind of keep myself?
Are you saying that about unfavorable things that you don't want? Why are you accepting?
Yes,
why are you accepting
I'm
it
sorry?
as the truth? Why are you accepting that as the truth, that things that you don't want can just manifest for you easily? Why don't you just accept the truth that the God within you knows what you want before you know what you want, and you don't have to sit around and manage all of your thoughts because everything always works out for you anyway?
I think that's kind of where I meant to ask, like, how can I just, and I know we have talked about it on the previous session we had, but I honestly didn't feel like kind of going and listening to everything just because I was a little overwhelmed, but just kind of how, I guess, just accepting what it is now, but not accepting, like, for me not to keep getting more of those things. Just kind of, I don't know, just kind of that. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want more of this, and I know this is not my end, but I was like, I don't want more of this stuff, so I was like, it must fade away. But still, it was just kind of like, I was just trying to micromanage, like, okay, like, I'm accepting this, like, if it's, I want it, and I'm like, no, I'm not, but it was just, I was in a back and forth thing, I really was, it's like, I really was fighting it with the knowledge that I have, and it was just, it got overwhelming, because I'm like, I'm overwhelmed, just kind of fighting back and forth my truth and what's not true, my true and what's not true.
How can you, if you're fighting back and forth between what's true and not true, have you actually accepted the truth? Yes. Why do you have to defend the truth? What makes you think that you need to defend the truth? The truth stands on its own.
I guess just because of the fact that it just feels assertive. 100% I know, like,
Okay.
emotions don't mean anything, but just because, like, it just feels like very intense. Like, it's a way of me, like, kind of reminding myself, like, no, like, this is what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what it feels like. This is what it is. This is not your truth anymore. And another thing that kind of, like, throws me off is, like, prior to this, like, I feel like, man, like, I think it's, like, the best that I've ever, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with how you feel, but it's like, I was in the knowing, like, I don't give a damn. Like, it's fine. It needs to happen. It must happen. and blah blah blah. But then, like, you know, when certain stuff shows up still not what you want it to be, and I'm like, it kind of like trips me out. I'm like, man, like I know I've been doing things right. Like, I know I have. Like, why the hell stuff like this is just showing up? Like, this is not what I want anymore. Like, I'm not choosing this anymore.
But okay, yes, see, when you make a decision on your identity, right? That decision is your identity moving forward. What you're hinting at here is that you're still just choosing identities to get certain things. All right? Your identity is just indefinitely, this is who you are right now. I'm somebody who everything good just happens to come to. Like, that's the identity. This is who I am. Okay? I am prosperity, I am love, I am the person that has this situation. Even if it's not showing it to me immediately or after 2 days, this is just who I am from now on until I choose differently. Now, from that perspective, right, or from that new identity, I can continue to choose things. But you've got this large battle going on in your mind where you're saying you're accepting truth, but you're trying to defend the truth and argue with your thoughts. And then when the situation out there doesn't look right, you're questioning yourself. All of that is just leading to exhaustion. It's tiring, right? It's constantly going to have you feeling burnt out. The more that you can rest, and I've already made a choice, and if I've already made a choice, it's final. That choice means no matter what. No matter what means it doesn't matter if I doubt, it doesn't matter if I fight it. I cannot choose anything else because I've already decided that this is what it is. That is a decision. That is resting in that decision, sitting down in that decision, knowing who you are in that decision, and then getting comfortable. Getting more and more comfortable in that decision, resting in there, right? And allowing things to flow from there. But it just, there's so many battles that you're still going through, and then you're still trying to judge the external reality as right or wrong. It just is. You're the reality. You're right. So reality must show up right. But you're still externally focused, and you're okay. Well, this doesn't look good, so I must not be doing something.
Everything you're telling me right now, I was telling myself that yesterday, and this morning I wasn't. It was just, it was a little different. But yesterday I kept reminding myself that, but it was like I felt like I was in a back and forth thing, just kind of reminding, and this and that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't need to worry about the middle. Like, you know, I was like, okay, but then I don't want to accept this also. And it was just like a little battle, like reminding myself all day just really became very exhausting. Like it was overwhelming that it was taking me from the present moment. Like I'm at dinner and I'm like I got all these people here with me that love me, that are like catering to me, like I had to just kind of force myself, like, no, come back to the present moment and just bring it, because it's just literally just taking you out, just because I'm like exhausted of like, no, like I'm not accepting this, no, I already decided, and just kind of going back and forth all day with that, which is very overwhelming. Like honestly, it was. And I don't know, like I feel like I haven't managed to just kind of stay still and just not do anything when I'm triggered, because that's really when it gets me the most.
Yeah. So yeah, the triggering, I mean, working through being more present is going to help you a lot. I mean, that's really the number one thing. It's kind of working and relaxing and resting into that presence, right? And all that does is going to keep you from suffering in your mind. Like we've talked about, it's not like presence is a requirement. It's just going to keep you from suffering, because it seems as if What's up?
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, somebody's in the bear. Sorry.
Oh, no, you good. You good. It just seems as every time your mind goes or a situation does something, you get so caught in the thoughts and battling those thoughts and fighting them and trying to figure out if I'm doing it right or wrong, that you kind of lose the plot for a while. And the thing is, you can get whatever you want anyways. You just accept that it's yours no matter what. But it seems as if going down this path of constantly fighting the thoughts and all that, it's just leading you to make decisions or believe that you can't get what you want, which is just, well, now that's causing all this confusion. So the presence allows you to keep from getting there by actually having that shield that is protecting you from constantly judging your thoughts.
100%, because I do feel like while I do that, it's very, of course, like you say, it's very easy to just do it in a day that it's, like that you're feeling good, right? But when the trigger comes up, that's when it gets challenging for me. And one thing that I even, like, I told myself today, I was like, man, like when I get this, like, and something not favorable is happening at the moment, like, am I gonna have to do this? And I was like, no, I don't want to having to keep fighting back and forth, choosing, because even that experience as me having it would be freaking suffering, and I do not want to be like that. Like, no, like I don't want to. I don't, because it's very overwhelming. It really is. And another thing that I feel like I really never noticed it until you pointed out earlier, that I do judge myself for wanting like intimate love with a significant other. Like I desire it and I want to experience it with someone, but I judge myself for wanting it because I'm like, you don't need anybody. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a whole as you are. You don't need nobody outside of you. You are the love. You are this. So why the hell are you tripping over this? And then that's when I come and start judging myself for it. So I'm like, how can I, how can I allow myself to have this desire without me judging myself? Because I'm like, I also don't want to be like, this individual becomes like a freaking drug. Like, oh, if he's good, I'm good. If I'm not, no, it just makes no sense to me. Then everything outside of me will have complete control over me, which I don't want that. But also too, I'm just like, okay, but then also like I have this desire, but I judge myself for having it because I'm like, no, you know better. You're like, you don't need anything external.
I mean, what do you need me to tell you, Yes? You know the answer,
like,
right?
What do you recommend for me? Like, I don't know, anything that you would probably say, like, how can I allow myself to just... Did I just respond to my own question? Just allow myself to have it without judging myself?
Exactly, bro. Like, I don't know why why are you acting confused? Why are you acting like you don't know? You're not. You've got this.
Yes, you're right.
If you need a pat on the back, I got you. But you've already got this. There's nothing else that you need to know. You've got this. You've got this. Like, you are already the right person. Okay, you've already made the choice. I don't know why you're still trying to understand why you've made the choice, and is the choice good enough? Yes, you've made the choice. That's it. Now, if you want to work on anything, it's presence, of course.
I guess it's just sometimes I try to understand that why, us as humans, like, we just tend to just seek so much, like, that validation from, like, a significant, like, I'm sorry?
All conditioning. That's what it is. It's just conditioning. We're all just used to it.
Okay, Alex, thank you so much. Look, you're not supposed to kick me out of this. I'm kicking myself off. I'm done. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. Love everyone. Thank you for the gifts. And talk to you later. I'll stay in the chat.
Love you, Yessie. Yeah, love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
All right, hold up, y'all. I gotta take a deep breath. All right, y'all ready for the next one? The next 15-minute block. Let me see how much time, how much more energy I have. Hold up, y'all. All right. Probably got 2 more in me. I was gonna go out, but I just felt like, you know what? Why would I need to drink and get drunk? You know what I'm saying? go through emotional roller coasters out there when I can just go through emotional roller coasters with y'all? Why would I want to do that? Huh? Why would I want to do that?
Oh, hello, hello.
Lucas, what's good, brother?
Everything is fine, man. How are you today?
Oh man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Beautiful. Now comes the most difficult person, huh?
I know. I know. All right,
So-
let me sit back for a little bit, bro. You got this.
Yeah.
Go on and have fun.
So my SP. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Oh man, great. So I want to give a different perspective in general.
Please.
I try my best. I don't know if I'm clear enough right now. I have so many thoughts right now, right? Because it's a long time ago that I spoke on here, right? Yeah, right? With accepting and choosing and remembering and especially giving the power away, right? So first of all, let me say, we are all, or you are all, exactly at the place that you need to be. And I try to explain why. Or it's just my perspective, right? So if I look at my journey and desires, what I want to experience, right? I also did go through ups and downs and still have the same experience, right? But if I'm honest to myself, right? If I'm really like, give so much power to my thoughts, feelings, circumstances, which is fine because we're used to it, right? We have to learn this kind of thing. We have to strengthen our identity or truth, or yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if you're really crashing out, quote unquote, every time, then you're not really ready to experience your desire, right? Because imagine you will have it right fucking now. And you're not able to disconnect from shitty thoughts or emotions or circumstances and put your identity on the outside world, right? You will maybe even suffer more, right? Like this back and forth thing. Like if something happens and now you're creating a story out of it instead of dealing with the situation with peace. And you don't want to be this guy or woman like, this is how I manifest my SP 5 times back. Kind of thing, right? That's exhausting, you know? So when I look at myself, I accept it, you know, maybe it's better for me that it take quote unquote more time, that I really can create a good baseline for myself and I don't know, my SP or whatever, right? So that I'm not this guy with every fight or not a response directly or whatever kind of thing is this, I'm able to have this baseline, right? Like I'm at peace with myself and I can allow myself to be my best version and the other person to be the best version, you know, and handle it with peace and love and can give the situation space, right, and not crashing out every time. It's much more beautiful experience for me, right, instead of for the sake of having it and then, but still be present by everything, right, like, and creating this back and forth thing and good or bad thing with myself and money or USP or whatever, right? So this is why you exactly at the place you need to be, right? Because if I'm on Twitter, I want to have this baseline, right? It's like that I know now who I am and that I'm more at peace with everything what happens or what my mind is trying to say, so that I'm allowing the other person to show up more beautiful, right? And especially myself, right? And my own experience. Yeah, I hope you understand me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you want to have that beautiful experience, like you said. You don't want to constantly be in your thoughts, constantly be anxious, constantly be reacting, constantly need this person to show up a certain way just to validate you. Yeah, absolutely, it makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah, and if you don't learn it or are able to be aware of it, you create more undesired experience, and then you will maybe even suffer more, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
so this was the first thing I want to say. Really, you're exactly the place you need to be to create a baseline for yourself and other persons or money or whatever. And I think there's a little misconception with choosing and remembering, I guess, right? Because, of course, like imagining things and remembering the truth, it's all great, right? It's great stuff. But we forget one big point. Oh, Anna, I have a question. Do you believe or do you think do you think that you get a reward for thinking more positive or this kind of thing or imagine more, or do you think you get an award for it? I think no, right? No. Listen, of course these things are great things, but as I said in the beginning, right, we are so used to give our power away to emotion, circumstances, and thoughts, right? So it's not that, it's more, I guess we learned it in the wrong order, right? First of all, change your thoughts, and then let go of the let go. And I want to focus more of letting go, because that's for me the more important point, right? Letting go, because this means for me accepting and trusting is letting go of all the reasons, or all of the opposite reasons, or all the reasons why you're not. This is accepting, right? Like, for example, treat your mind like maybe you all have this friend who always talks like shit, and you think, man, this little motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And your ego is like, or your thoughts like the same, you don't have to accept it, but we accept it because maybe it feels intense. That's not a problem, right? So it's not about you have to remember it every time or more often, or put your intention of what you want. Hey, okay, it's great, but it's more of letting go of all the reasons why you're not, or of the
Exactly.
opposite, and that's accepting, because what's left, it's I am or I am not, and when you're letting go of I am not, what remains, it's I fucking am,
Exactly.
And from this point, of course, man, feelings can be great to experience great feelings. And from this point, hey, if you want to imagine sometimes, because for the joy of it, because of like the possibility of infinite possibilities, and to enjoy your fulfillment, why not? But it's not from fear anymore, like, oh, I don't want to hear my ego voice, I try to hide for it. No, it's like more like, now it's like you're flowing over with joy and peace, and man, that's great. It's like more experiences instead of I try or I hope, and now I look at the outside world, where is it? It's more like, like for the joy of the great feeling, But yeah, so it's not a problem itself. It's more like really letting. That's what it means for me, I guess. It's letting go. It's just letting go of circumstances, thoughts, and emotions, right?
That's
That's
it.
what acceptance means. Acceptance is not like, oh, now I have to remember again and again and again and again and again and again. It's easier if you just let it be, And,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Once we let go of, like you said, man, it's, when you let go of all the things that imply that you're not, all that's left is I am, right? Which is really the foundational truth of your existence. We don't have to add anything else. We're not adding affirmations. We're not fighting against anything. We're simply accepting the truth that's always been there. It's just been buried beneath the illusion. Right? The world has conditioned us to think that we're not, to think that we have to do certain things, reach, strive for certain things, but we already are everything without effort.
Yes. So that's what means acceptance, right? It's not putting more attention on your desire. It's more like, don't accept the opposite, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really, with other things it's easy. Like if you talk from a human perspective, with friends it's easy, right? If they talk shit, then we're like, man, what the fuck? You know, you have two options. You can discuss or argue with them, and then it will be maybe exhausting, right? It's like with our ego, we can now fight against it, whatever, and then it feels exhausting. Or we can let think or say, I don't know, say it's like more like an attitude thing, right? Like, fuck it, you know, I don't, you know, but who cares, you know? Like, this kind of thing, attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and if you're able to do it or to get better at it, then of course, if you want to put the joy of it, not because like from fear or anything, it's like why not imagine it, right? As a
Exactly.
kid, I loved. As a kid, and you know, the Bible and Scripture and kind of thing talks about it, like be like the kids or the children. They imagine, or I.
Dang, what happened? There we go.
Oh, hello.
My bad. I had to switch phone. I don't know. I didn't know it was gonna drop though.
Yeah, yeah, this was the last thing I want to say. It's not, you know, if you think about children, they also imagine things, but more for the joy of it, to experience it, like, you know, not from I hope or I hide myself from negative circumstances or whatever. It's like, I can't explain it, man. I can feel it when I talk about it. I can feel the feeling of how does it quote unquote feel like, you know, if it comes from more wholeness, from like, you know, and it happens naturally, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah. It's something that can't really be explained. Even wholeness falls short, right? All the definitions fall short. It's not something to be able to intellectually explain. It's something to be understood and felt and known. It's what it comes down to, right? It's the bottom line. We do our best to try to explain it, but the quote unquote feeling of the wish fulfilled, it's not a feeling, but it kind of is, right? It's that acceptance of truth, which is the fulfillment that you've always been looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, no feeling is necessary, but of course, it's great to experience great feelings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you really learn to let go and don't resist your thoughts or whatever, then the feeling comes naturally. It's nothing that you have to force anymore, right?
Yeah.
The only thing why you're not feeling it maybe is because you resist it. You know, it's like arguing with a friend with a different opinion. You know, of course it can be exhausting. Right? So it comes naturally because you let go of the reason why not. So nothing is between this feeling anymore. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess I'm done. Because I talked too much right now. You know, if I want to, I can talk 10 hours, but no.
That's all good, man.
Oh, wait, how much time do I have left?
You still, oh, my bad. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Solid 3, yeah.
The last thing maybe, you know, in general life, I mean, humans tend to think like black and white, right? Like in different topics, but we have to find the middle, right?
Yeah.
Especially, shit. On just my perspective, right? With a love interest, let's put it this way. Let's say it this way. I don't want to say the forbidden word here. With a love interest person,
Yeah.
right? Like at the beginning, they are the pedestal, and then now you're the pedestal. But I'm like more interested in we're both equal, right? On the same level. It's not like I'm above you or she's above me or whatever. It's like, man, I swear you can't explain it. I swear you can't. I can try, but I swear I'm not able to, right? No. You know, it's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's beyond words.
It's really, it's like more, it comes more from wholeness. It's more like, that's what love does, right? Love creates space for others and loves to do great things, etc., right? And not to be validated anymore. It's like, sometimes it's the same, it looks like the same thing, but inside it comes from a different protocol state, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that there's a species servant, no, like it's king and queen, you're both together, and I believe a little bit that we are here to have divine connection. That's beautiful, right? But without this validation stuff, now it comes more from wholeness and freedom, because that's what love wants to do, right? Wants to see your other person's happy and surprise her, but like, and not micromanage anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not like, no, I am somewhere. If I do this, I'm somewhere. It's like, that's what love wants to experience, I guess. I guess it's the story, but for me, it's a beautiful story, right? To be both on the equal level, like king and queen, It's like, I'm the king and you're whatever. No, we're both, Like,
Absolutely.
beautiful and perfect, and we do our best together and create space for each other, and without micromanaging, because I love the idea of having fights sometimes, because from a human perspective, right, afterwards, you're closer than ever before, right? Like, it's a beautiful experience to talk after a fight. I don't talk about toxic stuff, right? Just normal things. But now it's not coming from, oh, I'm not enough, and maybe she's cheating, and maybe blah, blah, blah. No, it's not, just accepting, loving, and the rest will take care of itself, and it's a beautiful story. Yeah, that was the last thing I want to say.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's that freedom to love, the freedom to give ourselves permission to love as we were intended to love, right? Open, divine, all that, right?
Beautiful.
Absolutely
It's beautiful if it's not from, like, forcing, right? Like, no, I'm someone, or otherwise she will left or find a better one. No, it's like, that's what love does, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's allowing, sharing a great time together, right?
That's it. That's all love wants to do. That's all it wants to do.
Yes, man.
Cool. So I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you as always, man.
Me too, man. Me too. I assume the best of you all, guys. In my reality, you're all already everything you desire to be, and most important thing, you found your own peace.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Cool, brother. All right, man. She'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right. Deep breath. Whatever experience is a blessing in our journey. Beautiful. All right. I said 2 more before. I think I got 2 more in me still. I still got 2 more. What's up?
Oh, hello. My name is Tatiana. Thanks for accepting.
Thank you for being here.
First time on your live, and I just wanted to understand what your life is about.
Reality creation.
Everyone's talking about manifestation and stuff, even numbers in the chat.
Yeah, reality creation, unity consciousness. It's primarily it. You heard me?
Yes.
Yep. Non-duality, unity, consciousness, reality creation, all the above. All the above.
So where did this information come to you?
All kinds of ways. Life experience, research, primarily life experience, but research as well.
Research, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say about star signs? Are they part of manifestation and this type of researches or not?
About what?
Star signs.
What science?
Zodiacs.
Oh, zodiac signs. I would tell you that you are so powerful that you can make a prison of whatever, right? Whether it is a zodiac sign, a star sign, whether it's a doctor telling you that you have X amount of time to live, whether it's a therapist telling you that you're an avoidant, you have the power, right? Because nothing can hold consciousness except for consciousness, right? Nothing is stronger than the awareness that is aware of it, or the God that is aware of it. So we can either use our information, like I could say, oh, I'm a Scorpio and I must be jealous. I can use that as a way to trap myself. I can use that as a way to cancel out half of the population and say I can't deal with these people. Or I can use it as a way to liberate myself and say nothing can hold the God within me in, right? I cannot be limited to a single zodiac sign because I am the infinite.
I agree.
Yeah.
About angel numbers, for the past 4 or 5 years, I kept seeing 444s everywhere. What is this? Maybe you'd be the right person to ask.
Well, it wouldn't matter what I tell you, right? It would only matter what you accept as the truth about it, right? So I could sit here and we can go on to Google and we can look up 4 different sites and we can get 4 different meanings. You could say that it means nothing. You can say it means something. If I start looking for red cars because I want to get a new red Corvette, right? And then I start going out and I see red Corvettes everywhere. What does it mean? Does it mean I can't have it because damn, all these people have it and they're better off than me? Or does it mean this is all a sign that it's all working out for me? Either way, I'm right. So when we talk about angel numbers, when we talk about zodiac signs, when we talk about anything that we consider a synchronicity, because I am reality and these things are pushed out from me and still everything is still neutral that I see, I get to assign meaning. So there's certain things that happen in my life that I assign meaning to. For instance, Blue Jays. Blue Jays are very special to me. I happen to see them at a certain point in my life. So now every time I see them, it's always like, okay, cool. This is a sign that everything is going to be okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not going to give you a specific meaning, but I will say, instead of wondering what it means, why not decide that, hey, whenever I see this, this is what it means. And then allow spirit to communicate to you that way because you have the power to name everything.
But how do you know it's the spirit communicating with you and not your mind or illusion?
The reticular activating system, I would say it's the same thing. It's all spiritual. Everything is spirit, right? And everything is neutral until we say that it has meaning anyway. So whether I say it is meaningful or whether I say it is not meaningful, either way, it's still the truth. So how do I know that it's actually spirit and it's not the reticular activating system? It's a choice. I can say it's just coincidence, it doesn't matter, right? Or I can say, how many people do you know that they stay in this pattern of life? A situation came by, somebody cheated, somebody did something. The situation was meaningless. It meant nothing. But because this happened to them, they say, no, this is who I am now. And now they get more of that. They get more of a similar situation. Was it pattern recognition? Was it a sign? It doesn't matter. They assigned it meaning. And now when they assigned it meaning, it started to replay over and over again in their life.
Right, but what about the people that, for example, don't have a quite very strong willpower, and they have came across a situation in their life that is very distressed, stressful, depressive, and over the years they are still in that situation, in that state of mind, like depressive state of mind, and not coming out of it? Like, is that their choice, or do they need help with that?
Well, the
Or is
depression and
that part of them, or is that their reality?
well, I mean, so let's split it up. Let's divide it up, right? Because so the depression, the feelings, the emotions, are my emotions and feelings always a choice? No, they're not. And they might make it more difficult for me to accept the truth. There's no doubt about that. But what I accept as the truth and what I begin to expect as reality, that is always going to trump whatever, right? So the emotions that I feel about a situation, the depression, the down, even the happiness, those things do not matter at all. What matters is the choice. Often those times we'll allow those feelings to impact our choice, but what the choice that I make in whatever situation, I can make a choice that shit won't work out. I'm right. I can make the choice that no matter how I feel, it will work out somehow, some way. I don't know how, but a way will be made out of no way. God makes a way out of no way, or I make a way out of no way. Either way, I'm absolutely correct. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's their fault, right? Because everything is neutral. Is it your fault if you continue to choose the same thing? Well, yeah, a choice. Who I can't blame anyone else for my choice. Right? But let's say you come into consciousness now. Boom. Okay. Well, my choice creates my reality. All right. Cool. Well, if I'm continuing to make a choice that puts me in situations I don't want, yes, it's absolutely my fault. But if I just
Sometimes you don't have the choice to choose. Like, you're stuck. Like, there's literally no choice.
what do you mean?
Like, there are situations like that in life that you just like come across, or you're in that situation. Like, you have no choices.
You can be in situations that you feel powerless from, right? And certain choices just show up. That's cool, right? Sure. But there is nothing that you cannot liberate yourself from with the Savior within you that is the Christ. There is nothing. There is no situation that you can say, oh, well, what about this? And I'll say, oh, no, you're right. That one you can't get out of. When we say that God makes a way out of no way, that literally means that where I cannot see a way, there is a way. Why? Because I am the way. When I decide that I will get out of it, that becomes the way. It's not about what I can plan or what I can see with the human senses, with my logic. That's irrelevant. My logic is irrelevant when it comes to spirit, right? We're floating on a rock. Our logic does not matter here. What matters is our acceptance of the truth of who we are. Do I accept that I'm the way? Do I accept that I will get out of this? Do I accept that things will turn good for me? If I accept that as truth, no matter how I feel, even if I'm thinking against it, doubting it, doesn't matter. If I accept this as the truth, somehow it must show up. It's just law. It's just like gravity. It's just law.
If I accept it, that is the truth. What is the truth?
The truth is whatever you decide the truth is. The truth is relative. If I'm go talk to a Christian right now, they will be able to give me experiences in their life that reflected the truth that they accepted, that they are a sinner and they are powerless. But when I speak to people that are in this same space and they know that God is within, they will give me example after example of how the truth was proven to them, that they were powerful beyond their imagination. Truth is acceptance. If we want to talk absolute truth, the only absolute truth is I am. God is everything. The fabric of reality. God just exists. Reality just exists. Because reality is God. That's the only absolute truth. It's simply I am. God exists. Everything after that is a concession of God. Everything. Huh? Even I am prosperity is a division of God. God is much more. God is everything. I am prosperity is it's a division of God. But when I accept that as the truth, that's what it is, right? I am prosperity or I am not prosperity. Both will be proven to me as truth. The truth is only what I decide it is.
Well, you decide what the truth is, and that is what the truth is.
Exactly.
So whatever you decide in your mind that's the truth, then that means that's the truth. That's it.
That's
Nothing
it.
else exists. Not the truth.
Exactly.
So who like gives you the right to decide that that's the truth? Where do you get that from?
God, existence, you being God, you being the individualized perspective of God.
So, did you like get to connect with God?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
like speak? I mean, did you get to speak? Did you have dreams? Maybe signs? Maybe some sort of
More than that. More than
I don't
that.
know.
God is everything and everywhere. So the communication with God is in everything. This conversation is a communication with God because you're the fullness of God. God is not confined to a dream or to a vision or to a prayer or to a man in the sky. God is the fabric of reality itself. God is existence itself. So everything is a communication with God. And the more that I surrendered to the truth that there's not even an Alex, there's not even a me, there's only God, the more that I experienced God in everything that I do. And I was given more and more revelations to this, and my life simply reflected that truth.
So, if, for example, let's say my truth, I see the truth that there's shouldn't be any violence, any aggressivity or cruelty in the world. That is my truth. Why don't I see that?
Well, your world is your reality, right? But together, as consciousness, we're creating a collective reality. And so if God is all that there is, if God is everything, if everything exists within awareness within God, because that's the nature of God is everything, then what do you expect not to see? So the point is that you don't just eliminate things. You're not sitting here and saying, oh, well, this doesn't exist because I quote unquote judge things as good and bad. That's your judgment of good and bad. Everything exists. But in your reality, you get to determine that it is absolutely peaceful and absolutely perfect. So we go to this whole, well, if I'm God and I can do all this, then how come I can't eradicate violence? Well, because this is a collective consciousness. Because we're all sitting here and we're all collecting or creating, right? We're it's not that we are walking into the future together. We are all collectively pulling ourselves into the future with our assumptions.
So, how do you explain, well, like when people have near-death experiences, or they have like near-death experience, they die for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, depends, and they come back. That's what it's called, near out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
What a lot of people, they come back saying many different stories of what they saw within that 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And they described what they met and who they met and who they spoke to, what happened, what they saw. So how is this is this God allowing them to see or feel a little bit about of who he is and what he is?
Yeah. But understand, even if I have a mystical experience, me coming down and explaining it to you, I can only explain it to you through my own perspective. Right?
Yeah.
If I don't have a concept that I am God and all of it, if I don't have the consciousness to hold that, then what do I expect to see in a near death experience? So we're still only communicating what we received through our experience, through our vocabulary, through what we can even wrap our mind around. It was a time where I used to be heavy into plant medicine, and it would take me forever to even process what the hell I saw. And it wasn't until months later that I was like, oh, that's what that was. But my consciousness still had to expand to be able to understand that, right? So even if somebody is telling me, hey, I had a download, right? This is why some religions are absolutely ridiculous, because it's like, hey, look, Alex, I had a near-death experience. I saw Jesus. That's why you should believe him. What do you mean that's why I should believe it? That's your experience. You saw that. That's your perspective. Right? So it's not that. So anyone else's experience does not have to be my experience. My experience can be personal to me. It's like the story of the burning bush. If God showed up as a burning bush to me, would I have the stillness to confront it and be like, what's up? Or would I just run away and be like, oh, it's a fire over there. Let me call 911. Like, how spirit presents itself to you is going to be in a way that you can receive it, in a way that makes sense to you.
Oh, wait, so there's not just God, there's spirit as well.
No, it's all the same. I just use different words. Spirit, source, God, all of that is all the same. It's all the same.
Right, I got that. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
But that was
it was
the
a
fifth
pleasure
one.
to speak to you. Thank you for the accept as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. Every day we learn something new from each other, you know. And yeah,
I appreciate you, man.
I
Appreciate
did
you.
get my answers to some of my questions. Thank you, chat, for your patience. Thank you, Alice, as well. Good night, everyone. And yeah, maybe I'll see you again on your next live.
We'll do. Good night, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
For sure. All right, y'all. Woosah. I love these conversations with y'all. I love these conversations with y'all. Just want to let you know that Jesus went on the cross for me and you. It said 0.2, 0.2 out of 100. Oh, bro. I love having these conversations, especially when y'all kind of go off topic and it's like not just specifically about how to get something. And we can start talking about things like that. I actually enjoy those conversations more. I would say I know more about all those things than I do about reality creation. I know a lot about reality creation. So it's always fun. But 10:30, y'all. I'm about to wrap this up. Yeah, that was interesting, right? It did energize you a little bit. Assume that you find people on your level. Assume it, right? Assume it, right? Cool. Well, y'all have a beautiful night. Remember, you are already everything that you desire to be. Accept that. I enjoy the 15-minute format because I think the 15-minute format helped me to get through more things. It helped me to get through more people. And it was this sense of urgency where it was like, all right, I could tell that y'all were asking the question and moving on to the next one. So it was like, okay, cool, that's cool. So yeah, the 15, yeah. To me it's not, but I like the 15-minute format, especially on these lives, so we don't lose the plot. We'll still do panels every once in a while, but I like the 15. It didn't feel good cutting some of y'all off. It didn't. It did not feel good. I don't like doing that. But I do want to be fair. Cool. All right. So, of course, this is on YouTube. I'll upload the document right now. I went back and I uploaded a lot of documents, so I appreciate y'all for getting on my fucking nerves. So all the documents, a lot of the documents should be up. So you're good. And yeah, we'll talk again tomorrow. We'll probably do 2 again tomorrow. But until then, y'all stay blessed, stay divine, stay gods and goddesses, and enjoy life the way that you are meant.